Hey there. I just wanted to record a quick video and talk a little about something that's going on right now, the VA IRRRL Streamline refinance loan. Now, this is something we've been doing a lot in the past few years, but obviously with the rates going up the past year and a half or so, we haven't seen as many of these. Now rates are starting to come down. One of our lenders actually just announced a really massive promotion with these VA IRRRL Streamlines. And so I just want to go through a little bit about the rules of the VA IRRRL Streamline and let you know that I have those available. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always call me, text me, email me, etc. So there are some things you need to know if the VA IRRRL Streamline is right for you. So the first thing to know is, do you have to use the same lender again to do the VA IRRRL Streamline? And no, you don't have to. Any VA approved lender can do the VA IRRRL Streamline. That being said, right now, only one lender that we have as a broker is offering the special pricing. So if you go through just anybody, you might not be able to get the same pricing, but anybody can do them. Next question, how long do you need to wait to do a VA IRRRL Streamline refinance? And that's 210 days from the first mortgage payment due date. So take that first mortgage due date, add 210 days, and that will be the day you can close. Now you can apply before then, and that's always a good idea to apply before then, but that's the earliest you can close on the VA IRRRL Streamline. Next question is, what is the minimum interest rate drop? To do a VA IRRRL Streamline loan, you need to have save at least 0.5% in interest. So for example, if you're at 7% now, you would need to be at 6.5% or lower on the new loan. Next question. Will you need to pay the funding fee again? It depends. So if you had a funding fee before, you would pay a lower funding fee of only 0.5%. And if you were exempt before due to getting VA disability, you would not need to pay the funding fee again. Next question is, what is the IRRRL recoupment rule? Now, the VA IRRRL does have something called a recoupment rule, and that is a rule that says that you must get your closing costs repaid within 36 months. So, for example, if you had $3,000 in closing costs, then you would need to pay that back. You would need to save enough money to pay that back within 36 months. So at $3,000, and say you're saving $100 a month, you'd pay that back in 30 months, which is less than 36. So in this hypothetical scenario, if you had paid $3,000 closing costs, save $100 a month, you would pay that back in 30 months, and you would meet that rule. Now, if it doesn't meet that rule, then you can't get the IRRRL Streamline. And this is to protect you from churning, because unfortunately, back in the old days, a lot of loan officers would make things seem better than they were in order to make a commission and not really help the veteran. So that's why that rule's in place. Next one, can I get the IRRRL if I no longer live in the property? So say you're renting out the house, or maybe a PCS somewhere else, you're renting out the house. This is what a really underutilized one, but it's very valid, that you don't have to live in the property still to do the IRRRL Streamline. So for example, maybe you're here in Dayton, you PCS down to Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, you're renting out that Dayton house, you can actually get the IRRRL on the house that you left, which is kind of cool. How does the IRRRL affect entitlement? Your entitlement stays the exact same. We will pull the certificate of eligibility again just to make sure that there have been no changes, but your entitlement stays the same on that. Next question, can closing costs get rolled into the IRRRL? Yes, they can. That being said, you can't go over 100% of the value of the property, but you absolutely can roll closing costs in there. And by the way, on closing costs, there's no appraisal, very little. Oftentimes, you don't even need a job, interestingly enough. It depends on the lender. And it's really just title and filing fees, and that's it. So it's a very low-cost loan, which is really cool. Another question I get a lot is, what is the term extension rule on the IRRRL? Now, the term extension rule says that you can either extend up to 10 years or up to a 30-year term, whichever is less. So if you have less than 30 years on your term, so say you're at 28 years left, and you can go back to a 30, or if you have 15 years left, you can go up to 25 years. And the reason they do this is they don't want people with 10 years left going in a 30-year term. So that's not beneficial to anybody. So yeah, 10 years or 30 years, whichever. 10 years additional or 30 years total, whichever is less. And finally, can the IRRRL be used if you're behind your mortgage payments? Believe it or not, yes, it can. Now, this is a VA-specific guideline that you would need VA permission, but you actually do not need to be current on your mortgage to get the VA IRRRL Streamline. It's very rare that you can get these because you have to get the manual underwriting. It's kind of a pain. But yeah, there's an actual rule that says someone can actually be behind on their mortgage, get the IRRRL Streamline, get caught up, and be on their mortgage. So there you go. Those are some basics of the VA IRRRL Streamline. My name is Carlos. I am the author of VA Loans Made Easy. And so these are actually a chapter of my book. It is available on Amazon bestseller at scarpero.com/book. I can be reached at scarpero.com, or I can also be reached at 937-572-3713. Talk to you soon. Bye.